Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the pre-season round of Tier 4 here in Cone Racing League. Season 6 again already. I'm your host commentating tonight along with Steiny.
Hello everybody, how is everybody doing? Thank you so much for having me here, Bumpy. I'm very excited. China, and as we're looking on the screen, it is not dry. We have some clouds over the track, we have rain, everyone is on inters. I'm so thrilled to start.
It is indeed what we're seeing already. The first guys going out of the pit lane, all on inters. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Spider-Warp is the first one to go out and set a lap time, just entering sector 2 now. So then, Steiny, what are your expectations for tonight?
Wow, that is a great question. Here in China, it's a very tricky track, a track that I personally find very difficult, and putting some rain drops on the floor makes it even more tricky. And we are here for the first time now, almost preparing the first race as well. I'm super excited to see we have some changes, we have some new drivers, and yeah, we have some people who are trying out to get on the wheel at the same time as the old guys are having done a lot of training. I'm very excited to be here and looking at drivers like Freefall and Indian Jesus, one of the two very quick driver here that I'm keeping an eye on. How about you?
Yeah, I will definitely do the same. Like you mentioned, Freefall and In Jesus both were high in the tiers last season, Tier 2 and Tier 1 respectively. But now making the switch onto the wheel, the new steering device, it's always tricky to get used to it. It can take a couple months if you're not really practicing every hour of your day. Which, well, it's fair. No one has the time to do that. Yeah, it's interesting to see how they get on. Feral Fury as well. He isn't here tonight, but Tier 1 last season, Tier 4 this season. Interesting to see how it gets on.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And we are going to jump straight in with Spider-Rob here, the first driver on track, trying to put a good lap time on the board. Very tricky at the acceleration out of turn 6 here. Currently in 6th gear, just feathering the boost along the long left, now sweeping in the long right-hander, preparing the next turn into the left-hander off turn 9 it is, I think, exiting on turn 10 to a small straight. Very tricky here. 7th gear, braking around 7, maybe 100 meter board, I think, to be safe. And now it's all about getting the throttle early. Currently has a purple second sector as he's the first car out on track, finding the throttle very early, trying to push with the RPM as well. Spider-Rob so far very stable on track, approaching the last 3 turns here in China, braking around 100 meter board, turning into the curb, just about miss it, down to 1st gear, getting a little bit more acceleration, 3rd gear, 4th gear, now again 50 meter board on the right side, going over the curb, just miss it, and invalidating on the last turn. Very unfortunate for him, but as he crossed over, it's a 46-2, unfortunately invalidated, but hopefully he can go in the box and go again or stay out on the same.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, especially if you invalidate on that last turn. It will invalidate the next lap as well, so you have to go around another time to try and set a lap. In the meantime, we see though, Kemi crossed the line, set at 47.4, so that is a full second slower than Spider-Warp was on that first run. But of course in the rain everything can change, so nothing really major to worry about there for Kemi. And I saw there as well a quick flash, someone get a 5-second place grid penalty for a collision. So
that is very unfortunate. Also very unfortunate as well here, sorry to interrupt, we saw Indian Jesus unfortunately losing the traction here. A lot of pressure is on him together with his teammate Freefall, aka Scott. And both are actually doing a little 360 on track. So the first signs of commentator curse is also still with us here in Season 6. Welcome everyone, but hopefully we can get some clean laps as well, as also he's taking the P1, the provisional P1 at the moment on 46.3.
4/10 faster than everyone else at the moment. And as you were talking about pressure, we had some votes as well in this community, and Freefall, well, the pressure didn't get any lower, was voted as the predicted champion and predicted runner-up. So clearly a lot of people have faith in him to do well. And then we see Freefall and Matt Rowney both also emerging as favorites for this season's title.
Absolutely, there's a lot of pressure. We had some great predictions as well coming through. Everyone has voted for their best driver on track. Some people who are validating or bottling it as well. But talking about good performance, Funniest Chimp is taking the P1 spot. As I say this, They Live is just improved the time by another 2/10 to 46.0 currently on P1. Very, very good performance for him.
We will, and as we say, that Xenon goes in between that very, very tight margins here. Just over 400s behind Bailiff, and there Maverick goes even faster into the 45s, the first one to actually manage that. So great laps we're already seeing, very close as well actually. The top 8 all within, well, 6 tenths of each other, and that
is nothing. That is
a wonderful, very interesting incident there. I think Aussie and Scott Gay collided there. Couldn't really get a good view of it, but it looked very, very unusual. Let's put it that way. But none of them got the grid penalty, so they got away with it. Lucky for them.
Definitely. Very, very tricky here on track to give a lot of space. We have so many cars out on track. I think it's only 4 people in the pit lane now. It's a 5th one as well who joined the dry part of the track in the garage. Everyone else is on track currently, and Mikami has once again improved his time by a lot, and he's taking P1 spot by 45.1 by 7/10 of a second. Great performance, great start for him in the first 50% of the qualifying session.
Is done indeed, and as we're just saying, the field was very close, but now with drivers getting used to the conditions, maybe the track getting a little bit better as well, as with the rain maybe easing off a bit. Bailiff, first driver into the 44s, 44.8 as well for him, so that's a very, very good lap time at the moment. And just, I'm curious to see who can follow that. Reverend Melvin just about couldn't. 3 thousandths down this time. See there, Wuban. He has retired on the straight.
Yeah, I do think that was a crash out, unfortunately for Wuban on the long straight. We have one driver less on the grid now. Other drivers are preparing the laps. There's a lot going on. It's not raining anymore, so the question is, when is the track going to be dry enough for the drivers to change on slicks? Currently, every single driver is still on intermediates because it is just a very, very tricky track to get the traction down early, and we see so many people are having to correct on exits, on entries. It's very, very tricky out there currently, as we have another yellow flag at the beginning.
That is for Freefall, I think.
Very unfortunate for Freefall. Once again, saying hello to his rear tire as he's spinning around. But hopefully he can reset and go once again. He has enough time.
And just as you were saying that he got out of the way for some traffic, wanted to get going again, spun again, so we'll leave Freefall there on his part of the track. Hopefully, he'll make it to the pits very soon. Not get any more struggles. And Wikami, in the meantime, has gone very close to the top, only 200ths away from Bailiff, setting a 44.8 as well. And Xenon just very close. The top three all within 1/10 of each other, and then the rest of the pack follows a bit further back, but nothing to really be concerned about yet. As you were saying, the track is drying out a bit, so maybe we'll see the dry tires towards the end of the qualifying.
Very potentially. I'm looking at Reverend Melvin at the moment. He did have a good beginning of the lap. I think he did improve his current lap time by 6/10, if I was not mistaken. Hopefully he will be able to bring us back home all the way until the end, or if Jeff says that it is time for some slicks, he might go in early. But currently there's still a lot of raindrops on the display, so might be too early. Currently still between just on the exit of turn 10, approaching 11. Looking good so far, keeping the minimum pace in the apex as well, and now it's down to him to get early on the throttle, but he's bundling his lap time. I think he's not happy, or is going to recharge his batteries.
He was
hit as well.
He was indeed very hesitant on the throttle going out of that sweeping long right corner, and I think I just about missed it, but there were two spinners on the hairpin, the penultimate corner of this track, both at the same time, so maybe there was a bit of contact between Wikami and an Alpine. I missed who that Alpine was, but they will be very lucky as well to not get that 5 place grid penalty.
Absolutely, that would be very bad, as he cannot report it to stewards, unfortunately, and there is not an option to remove the 5 place grid penalty if it was unfair, so you're going to be very careful on track as well. But we still have some drivers, 5 minutes 30 left on the session, who don't have a time, and then within those 5 drivers, or actually 6, we have both Red Bulls, as we were talking about before.
They'll be very eager to go on and set the lap time, as we're just seeing the McLarens both completing their laps. And actually, CRL Xenon in the pits has fitted their soft tire, so maybe he will just have a look, see if they'll be better towards the end. But the intermediates go on that Alfa Romeo back again. And as speaking of the Alfa Romeos, in 3rd and 4th, looking very strong so far on those wet conditions.
Very strong now. Both drivers in the top 4 looking good, very promising for the beginning here for Alfa Romeo. Some drivers are still out on track as well. Let's have a look. We have some more spinners as well. It's a very tricky track. What do you find most difficult, most challenging in China, and then plus wet as well?
Well, China especially is a very difficult track. I think I gotta say turn 1, and then the SDRS gets enabled, so it is time for the slicks. And every time honest intermediates it won't really matter where you are at the moment. It's all about the dry pace. But talking about the tricky part of China, it's especially the long sweeping corners out of turn 1 and going on to the main straight. It's just very tricky to get that power down as early as you can, but not too early, because it's very easy to lose the back end and just, well, as Wuban did, put it into the wall, and that's your qualifying over then.
Very unfortunate. We have more drivers out now as well on soft tires, who are currently on an outlap. 3 minutes 20 to go. If the soft tires actually work, this can get very crispy towards the end here of the session. And as well, we want to do a big shout out to everybody in the chat who is watching. I want to say a very warm welcome. Spider as well is in the chat, as well as Mike, who is greeting us as well, saying good comments, of course, about the commentator. I hope Jacob, Nathan, the brother, are both with us as well. Good luck to everybody from them. Nathan has also informed us that we will see rain at the end of the race.
Ooh.
So once again, the driver will need to I think, start on dry and then get used to the dry, the wet setup once again at the end of the race. So we will have a very, very interesting session today.
Mixed conditions for both the qualifying and the race. It is very interesting to see that. Very nice to see as well, with the different strategies going on. Then maybe some will try to stretch and make the rain period to do a one stop, just the medium or hard to the intermediates, and some will try, well, will have to start on those soft tires, probably can't make it towards the rain, and they'll have to stop, but they'll be very, very fast compared to the other guys. And now on board with Spider, he's the first one on those soft tires who will set a lap. It's still a bit damp out there, but it is indeed time for those slick tires. As CRC has a bit of connection issues, I don't know if you can set a magnified that way.
Look at the times that he's doing in the sector 1 and 2, both are purple. This is definitely time for slicks, and we see many drivers now in sector 1 and 2 trying to make give it another attempt here for the fastest lap. He was 3 seconds quicker than on intermediate. This is absolutely crucial point of qualifying session, as we have almost everyone out on track. Spider, as he said, is just approaching the finish line, and what time can he do? A 39.1. This is absolutely huge gap of 5.7 seconds. We are on for a very, very exciting end of the qualifying session here in China. Let's see who else is crossing over the line. We have a Haas there, I think.
Most of them are on outlaps, just starting their lap now, but I gotta say the one still in that pit lane on those intermediate tires, they will be caught out.
Very, very unfortunate for them. Let's see, 23 seconds. We have
everyone starting the lap. That is Ferrari of Madrauni managed to invalidate his outlap, and he is going straight on at the hairpin. I don't think he's going for that run. And Bailiff going into P1. Shane and TV also backing off. They just about didn't manage to get that dry run in, so that's qualifying over for them, and they're just gotta hope some other drivers mess up as well. Cyril Digweed now goes fastest, 36.7, but Bailiff has that advantage that he can go for another run, and the track will be drier and drier. Half a second already improvement on sector 1, so I gotta say the one that finishes their lap last will be in the best position.
Absolutely, we have both Red Bull driver managed to cross over the line, Indian Jesus and Scott, aka Freefall, both in 19 and 20th position. Scott is just approaching the start finish line, is putting himself up to P3. Wow, that was finally a very, very big jump. Well, it was definitely needed. We have another Haas as well. That was Scott Gay, improved his time up and improved his position as well to P5. Very, very good for his time, 37.8. And now we have Indian Jesus approaching the line with Ash behind. Indian Jesus provisional pole, but Ash just about made a better time with 35.8. But Aussie once again the pole position and 35.6.
But Bailiff,
wow,
on the last lap, just as I said, he was the last one to finish his lap, and he got that pole position. But it all came down to those last laps in the qualifying session. Very, very close to. The pressure was really, really on those drivers to get that lap in.
Absolutely. What an end of the qualifying session. That is absolute mental. Bailiff just able to sneak in front of Ozzy into P1 now. We have a very, very interesting race coming up right now. I think it's going to be a dry start and then rain towards the end.
Yeah,
Alright, let's take a breather.
a very, very much needed breather. I will run you through the top 10 of qualifying again. And those who will need to start on the soft tires, of course, everyone outside of the top 10 can choose which tire they want to go on. So it's Bailiff indeed on pole in that Alpine car, just manages to get pole position on the last lap. Ozzy and Ash running off the top 3, and then it's Indian Jesus in P4, Greg's Game Center in P5, Cyril Dickweed followed by BX Pro on P6 and P7 respectively. Then it's Freefall in P8, and rounding up the top 10 are Spider-Rob and Scott Gay on that 5th row of the grid. In 11th we have Maverick, the only one outside of the top 10 who manages to do his lap on the soft tires.
Extremely close there, and very, very risky or hard braking at the end of the race. At the moment we are just waiting for the driver to select their strategies. This is one of the important parts as well, because you need to calculate how many laps do you have to stay out on dry tires as we're starting the formation lap now and here in China. And it's sunny, it is beautiful weather. Let's get our let's put the umbrellas away and take the sunglasses, enjoy the beautiful weather here in China.
Enjoying it while it lasts. According to our sources, it won't last that long, unfortunately. So maybe get the umbrellas a bit close, but yeah, let's put them away. Put them away for the moment. Just forget about everything that is coming your way, which is negative. And before the drivers have exited Sector 1, we have already 4 disqualifications from that formation lap. They will start on cold tires, and an AlphaTauri of Maverick going for a spin as well. Interesting way to heat the tires.
It definitely ensures that you have warm tires, as we can see some predictions as well for the pit stop. Many drivers are going for one stop who are on soft. Some have actually selected mediums as well. So the question is, when is the rain going to come? I would love to be in the car and ask Jeff so many times when the weather is going to change. I'm one of the annoying drivers. I'm asking him every 2 minutes, and I can imagine that there are a few people out there as well right now trying to get on Jeff's nerves and get the best possible strategy there for themselves.
Yeah, Jeff isn't always the most reliable source when it comes to weather in this game, but definitely interesting to keep an ear out of him.
And he BX37 Pro.
And he rejoins safely behind the pack. But yeah, outside of the top 10, very interesting seeing the different tire choices people have made. Every tire got selected out of the outside there. 3 guys on the hard, 3 on the soft, and 4 on the mediums. So maybe the guys on the soft don't think, well, we won't make it to the rain period, let's just go onto the softs, get a good start, and we'll see from there. The hard runners will probably want to make it to that rain period and go onto the intermediates, finish the race out, and maybe the same for the medium runners as well. But tire wear in China is very, very high, so it's less about if you really take care of them 10 laps.
Definitely, tire temperatures is a high thing, but we are waiting for the lights here, and I'm going to give you the start here to kick it off.
Thank you very much. We see the red lights coming on. It's 5 red lights, and they're out, and the drivers are on the way. It looks like a very good start for the McLaren driver, who already passed the Alpine into turn 1, and we see a crash at the back as well. That is Atom going off, losing his front wing. And so not a good start for him. And now settling a bit further back, we see the Ferrari of Ben maybe going for that move, but he just thinks better of it. Further back, side by side action happening, maybe not really. You see Xenon losing his connection again. Spider Rob went for a spin, not what you want to see. The Red Bull of Freefall making moves here as well, getting past that ghosted car of Xenon.
Very unfortunate for him. We do have Xenon, they're improved by 5 positions already, now up to P8, as well as Reverend Melvin, also 5 positions improvement, and Ghost Angel 1 now up to P12 as well, one of our drivers who did have a small struggle in the last season as well, so it's good to see some improvement and some more stabilization for many drivers. Currently, Jesus is down to P16, lost 12 positions there, unfortunate for him. And as he said, Spider Rob currently just behind Atomic on P20, forming up the grid.
They definitely won't be happy with that start, as we saw a bit of action going in the tricky right-hander, going onto the mid straight, with Maverick and Wuban getting a bit out of shape, going off track as well, as is the house drive of Ghost Angel 1. And in the battle now with the McLaren of Shaden. Shaden just edges out in front. Bit of wide line from the Haas, and that allows Funny House Chimp to get a look in on that inside. Does he go for the move here round the outside of turn 3? Would be very lovely if he would, but just can't stick it around the outside there.
Very good attempt there from him. We have another battle as well, Xenon and Vikami side by side. We have a soft against a hard tire, and Xenon is on around the outside.
Wow.
Can he make it stick? And he can, yes. The difference between those tires are just immense.
It was indeed, he got helped by the tire, but still around the outside of that corner, ask Max Verstappen, it's very difficult. So still a very great move from him. And just rejoining back in the lobby after his connection issues. We hope that was the last of the issues we saw this race. As you see a move for the lead, Aussie going past Bailiff. So Bailiff got past Aussie a bit earlier as well. So now re-overtaking.
I think this is going to be a beautiful battle between the two at the front. We have Bailiff and Aussie battling at the front, and the teammate from Bailiff, Greg Skamsender, is just behind, so I'm wondering if there will be a situation where they can work together, saving some ERS, putting Aussie on the pressure and defending against Ash as well, who's just behind. But also BX37, Ben, is pulling along some more cars as well, so they need to be very careful of what they do there at the front.
Indeed, if they make one mistake and BX Pro gets in that DRS, it will be a long DRS train, maybe down all the way to P9. Depends if Freefall can keep up as well. So
that is something that you don't say that often normally.
And if there's a big DRS train, a 3-second penalty can make the difference between a race win or P5, P6. So it'll be very close. Everyone needs to stay alert, as we see now Ash very close on the back of Greg. Maybe wanting to make a move on this upcoming straight as an incident occurs further back between the Maverick and Matt Rowney. I missed what actually happened there, but it looks like they came together and both losing out there.
Hopefully they don't have any damage and they can continue. The last thing that you want to have is a damaged front wing. We have another battle as well here. Reverend Melvin defending against Xenon on the long straight, and Freefall is just ahead of it. Xenon breaking a bit later there on the inside, making the position good and touching Freefall on the exit. Now Freefall and Xenon side by side into the last turn. Xenon around the outside, it's got a small tap and he loses it. Unfortunately he lost it in there. That is Freefall in the small unfortunate touch for him there, but Rabbit Mal was defending his position and made up to P7 once again. There's an Ash outside, so there's another position, free position.
The last corner is very tricky to go side by side, especially if you hit the inside curb a bit weird, and looks like, well, Scott went a bit too wide, hit Xenon. Nothing really he could have done there. Looks like a racing incident there, but very unfortunate for Freefall to lose out on that. And while that battle was going on, we also saw a change for the lead as Bailiff re-overtook Aussie, and now looking to pull away from that McLaren to just drive off into the distance and never see them again.
Definitely he's gonna hopefully be able to push out of DRS for him, and then his teammate can put some pressure on the McLaren driver himself. That would be ideal for the Alpine duo there in the top 3 at the moment. And we have CRL Digweed just behind, just about missed the DRS. Very interesting battle at the front.
Definitely well, interesting to see how that one shapes out, as we see Shade and TV there breaking onto the grass, going wide in the hairpin that allows Wikemi to go side to side. As we see again, last corner side to side action, but there Wikemi backs out of it, thinks better, doesn't end in tears, and there also the first pit stops. BX Pro and Indian Jesus both coming into the pits, probably going for that 2-stop. Indeed, BX Pro fitting on the mediums, as does Indian Jesus, so that's a definite 2-stop for them. Hopefully for them they can make it until the rain period. And Scott there, Freefall, following his teammate after his spin, bit of front wing damage as well, we saw there. Luckily the game fixed the double stack, so he doesn't get held up that much in the pit, but yeah, still
big improvement
losing
there.
very much time.
Definitely you lost so much time there previously, over 30 or 40 seconds before the team was doing anything at all, but we can see the first drivers, as you said, now on a 2-stop strategy. In the meantime, the sky, if we have a look in the sky, it is not too bad so far. We have a few clouds which get a little bit darker, but so far we can see this blue sky as well. We can enjoy it, you guys can enjoy it as well. Put your sun cream out as well, as we have Greg's Games that are now making another move or attacking Aussie, and it's going around the outside, as we now have a Alpine 1-2. What a strong performance. And talking about Alpine, we have Bailiff as going into the pits, I assume to cover up the undercut there for the 2-stop strategy. And we have the other Alpine, Greg's Game Center, taking over the current front position with Digweed just behind. Very close.
As you say that, Greg gone wide and Digweed now trying around the outside there. Will he make it stick? That's the question. Still side to side going into the hairpin at the beginning of sector 2, but now Digweed pulls ahead. So it went from a 1-2 for the Alpine drivers to one pulling into the pit, fitting on the medium tires as everyone else basically has done, and his teammate getting overtaken by the Aston Martin car of Digweed. And also we saw Aussie entering the pit and making a move here on Spider-Rob, by the way, a very audacious move, just like Ricardo did on Bottas a few years ago, the same corner. Very nice move.
Oh, we got a late break in there, sorry to interrupt you. We had Xenon who broke very late there, and 2 cars were in front of him. That was for turn 11 on the inside, just managed not to get any damage. Greg's Game Center very wisely gave the position up there and let him pass, not to get any damage at all, but that was very close and very dangerous from Xenon.
It looked like it wasn't really the wisest thing to do, especially in the aftermath of it. Just almost going 3 wide there, and Greg pulling into the pit on the soft tires, probably going onto the mediums. Let's have a look. Stay on board with him. See if his front wing will change. Wikemi though, very close to the back of Shaden. And actually pulling alongside, and there is contact, and it's Wikemi into the wall. Very opportunistic move to stick it on the inside there, especially if you're a bit behind on the corner entry. It almost made it work, but it ended up in tears.
Unfortunately, tears here currently for a few racing driver who had to pit early due to some damage. Currently, Freefall is down in 19 position, just behind Atomic, and we have some the hard drivers on hard tires at the moment. We have 2 at the front and 3 further at the back, 2 on P5 and P6 with Vikami and the Maverick. Currently, let's see if they are able to stay out for a long time. I'm probably looking better for the Maverick, as Vikami just had an incident. Let's see, they might get very spicy here towards the end once again.
It looked like Wikemi maybe picked up a bit of damage, and that didn't help him through the long turn 12. So Maverick got a better exit, but he doesn't have the DRS though. As that was very odd. Wikemi just got a bit of a red cross indicating that he was disconnected, and Maverick went into the back of him. His car bounced up a bit, goes into the pit, so I think he picked up damage from that. That is very unfortunate. Picking up damage from an...
Yes, I think that was just a connection issue there from Vikami, caused the car to stay on track and did not go, so that caused the Maverick to crash into the back, but at the same time, we have a spinner here. We have Xenon spinning out. Unfortunate for him. At the moment, P11. Wonder what that was. Maybe just a bit too quick on the throttle here on hard, so you got to be careful on the hard tires. You cannot go that quick on the throttle. Currently struggling a little bit. P11.
Indeed, those hards are very tricky if you don't manage them right, as we've seen here with Wikemi as well. Alcy just going so much faster through the sector 2. Does he make a move? Here he does, and it is very nice move if he can manage to make it stick. Still going side to side, and he does. But now coming onto the main straight, Wikemi will have the DRS, so if he gets a nice exit, which he doesn't, and that is the battle over, then Alcy getting past Wikemi on a very odd part of the track, which we don't really see moves being made that often, but he made it work. That was absolutely fantastic. And here as well, BX Pro going past Digweed, making it easy on the straight with the 8 of DRS. And Jesus actually almost going into the back of Digweed, very late braking there. But that's also just the difference in compound of tires, of course. And Wikemi on those hards pulls into the pits, so he doesn't make it until the rain period, unfortunately.
It's very unfortunate. Talking about the rain as well, the weather is not changing too drastically at the moment. If we have a look around, the clouds are still blue and the day is still happy currently in China. But Jeff, you never know. When is he going to tell you that the rain is coming? And we have many drivers still waiting for it.
We do, and Digweed there making the gamble to go on those hard tires, hopefully making it work well longer than the medium runners around him, with who he's in a train caught up with now. P5 to P9.
Well. I'm wondering what kind of rain we will have. Do we have like light rain? Are we going to see some drizzles where you can stay on slicks? So that is the big question. As Xenon just picked up a 3 seconds time penalty, is unfortunately not going to help him towards the end of the race. And now on hard tires, hoping not to get into the box once again. He's trying to catch the cars ahead. There are 4 or 5 cars in the big train, in the DRS train, and everyone is pushing with ERS as well to get a little bit closer to the car in front. So we'll see if you can pull it up all the way to the end.
he was definitely catching them through the sector 2, the tight and tricky, twisty sector. But then going onto the main straight with his low battery as well, he's derating a bit. And the aid of the DRS ahead. We do.
Ghost Angel 1 is just conceding in position. Sorry to interrupt. I assumed he's going to defend his position there.
That was absolutely fine.
No.
I think if Xenon gets on with this, he will be able to catch the train ahead before the next DRS detection point, and if he manages to do that, it will be very easy to him to stay with them. As you see a battle there, Digweed and BX Pro for the lead in this train in sector 2. But Digweed thinks the better of it. He won't try to make the pass around the outside there on those hard tires. It's very hard to do. But now in Jesus, just looking down the inside, maybe if he can pick up some pieces from those hard tires. But now choosing to stay behind, maybe making the move on the straight rather than in the corners, where you will lose a lot of time if you make the move there.
And this is going to be a drag race down the straight in Jesus against Digweed, trying to get closer to BX37. He's going very defensive as well, very smart driving from him, and everyone is pushing.
Oh no, that's in Jesus in the wall.
No, very unfortunate for him.
And his front wing gone with that. Just left his ERS wide open, and that doesn't really help on the traction. It's really tricky to get the power down then. Really have to be very cautious, which it just about wasn't enough. And here side to side, Red Bull versus Mercedes. Freefall versus Atomic, the battle of the Scotsman, and Freefall pulling ahead and winning that battle for the moment. Digweed now again in a battle with BX Pro, but the Ferrari going very deep off track as even. And as Martin pulling ahead, Shaden there got overtaken by Bailiff on those old mediums, the McLaren, maybe wanting to help out his teammate a bit, who is struggling to keep the pace of Bailiff.
Definitely, we have some team play now as well going on with McLaren. Aussie just behind has a 3 seconds time penalty, so he will need to push a little bit more and try to stay and get ahead as well. But Shaden just made the move there and up to P2. And Bailiff is very close to almost gave him a little tap in the butt. And luckily he did not, and he did not get any damage at all. Bailiff is very close though.
He got a very good exit.
He's going for an overtake as well into the inside, into turn number 1, taking the provisional first position, but he's spinning out. But what a catch! Very impressive catch off track. And still P2 on the medium tires. That was impressive, Bailiff.
I thought he lost it all there, going into the wall and bottling the lead, but well, it was a very impressive save on the grass, going full opposite luck, and manages to keep that Alpine kind of on track, still in track of Shaden. But all that definitely did help Aussie to catch up. Almost 2 seconds now. The gap between himself and his and the rival for this race win. Got it in.
Very close to the battle ahead, and very impressive skill from Bailiff. I had to think about Bottas with his rally skills as I was seeing the catch there, and talking about him. He's taken the provisional first place once again. The question is, does he have DRS, or is it to Shaden now? Shaden is very slow. He's giving the DRS to Aussie. That is very smart, but unfortunately Aussie was not close enough at the DRS zone. He's helping his teammate there a lot, but there's a little tap. No, Aussie realized it, gave him a little bit more space. Very smart driving there from McLaren, working together. Aussie now in P2, and Shaden goes into the box. Teammate helped, check. I can go in the box. That is very, very smart from McLaren.
I saw a bit of Jarno Opmeer action going on as well. I think Shaden just broke before the DRS detection point to get himself the DRS, but then made a mistake on the corner afterwards, so he didn't actually get that advantage. But seeing here a battle for P4 and a bit of contact between Greg and Scott Gay as BX Pro retires in the pit after having a spin in Sector 2. But a long train from P4 all the way down to P8. Very interesting to see how this pans out, as is the battle for P10. Shaden just coming out of the pits on brand new hard tires, rejoining ahead of Wekemi and Maverick, both on relatively new medium, so they'll be a lot faster than the McLaren driver. But in the long term, I think Shaden has the edge. See here actually a lot of action going on. It's Kemi and Shaden side to side. A bit of connection issues going on, and Kemi just about keeps ahead there.
That was a huge dive bomb actually from Kemi into the inside on Shaden. Very, very lucky for Kemi that Shaden didn't turn in and gave him the space here. Unfortunately, the Williams driver is struggling a little bit with the internet and is jumping around, but that was a very, very ambitious move. As he's doing big jumps here on the track, Shaden's still behind and has way more ERS, better and managed, as Wekemi's rear light is flashing. He's going defensive, but that does not matter. A little bit of DRS, Shaden does not have to use any ERS and is ahead into the turn 13, I think 14 it is, and on the exit as well, stays ahead. Very, very calculated for Shaden, and on 0 lap old hard tires, currently in P10.
He is in a pretty good position. Shaden, a very aware driver, as I saw so far, helping his teammate out, and as you said, avoiding the dive bomb from Kemi, just thinking better of it, and now he is ahead, so it pays off to, well, to not be an asshole, basically. So that's always nice to see.
Absolutely agree there. It always pays off not to be an asshole. Remember this for life, kids.
Exactly. Ooh, as you see here, very, very close between Ghost Angel 1 and Freefall. They were going on it for a couple of laps now. But just the exit of turn 3, that is very close for Freefall on the inside. Got barely enough room to get on the throttle, but he did get enough, just about enough. Respect, hard but fair racing. What we like to see, and Ash making a move on Greg. But now who has the DRS? It is Ash. He is already ahead with the DRS, so I think he's just gonna extend that gap a bit further back. It's Wekemi and Shaden still battling. Shaden with a lot more ERS, but it doesn't really help if you don't have the DRS, which Kemi does. And Freefall there, going for a little bit of spin once again. Wekemi getting forced on the grass, and a bit of ghosting going on. I don't really know what happened there, but Kemi is spun around on the runoff after the hairpin. I think there was some connection issues going between him and Shaden, but it, yeah, just very, very unlucky with that connection issues.
Very unlucky indeed, especially if you do side-by-side battling. You don't want the other car at all to move, like not a single centimeter, because it's so important for you to know every single inch of the track, use every single centimeter on the track. But we have a spinner around, as we said, a stickweed into the wall. Unfortunate for him. Does he have any damage? I assume so. There was a hard impact, and we have another one as well around. I think there was another. In
Jesus, it is. He was around a pretty long time, and I think maybe Dickweed got a bit caught out because In Jesus was going so slowly there. Just wasn't really focusing on the track there, Dickweed maybe, and just touching the curb and losing it, going into the wall, ruining his race.
It's unfortunate for him. He has a little bit of damage. I think his left sideboard end plate is missing, so he will have to box, because that will cost him around 7/10 over the entire lap, and it's just way too much time at least. And he needs to go in the box, change the tires. Assumingly, I don't know. the clouds they don't go grey, so it is still okay. He might go on softs if the weather is approaching very very soon, and he is gonna go into the pit as well as Indian Jesus. So interesting to see which tires are they going to go on.
Ghost Angel 1 there having a bit of issues on the exit of turn 12 as well, and as you mentioned, the clouds are not really increasing that much, so maybe it won't be enough to actually change tires onto the intermediates, and just the wisest thing to do maybe go onto the softs towards the end. They will have the most grip in a bit of damp conditions, easiest tire to get warmed up, and then pray for the best that the rain doesn't get heavier, because we're seeing here Scott Gay having a little bit of a spin as well, was in front of Ash, now falls behind Greg. Let's see if he can make those places back. And talking of Ash, he got a 3-second time penalty there in the double left-hander. Very tricky corner as well on this track.
Definitely, and I think we should take a moment and appreciate the position changes here from Reverend Melvin and Funniest Champ, because both of them have more than 10 positions improved. We have Reverend Melvin currently in P3, no time penalties, still in a very good position, only
make that P2.
11.7 seconds. Now P2.
With
now
the
P2.
McLaren pitting for brand new tires. What tires did he go on medium, so he wants to make it towards the end on those medium tires. I think Reverend Melvin is gonna try to get that one stop done, and maybe he will be in a very very good position if he actually manages to pull it off. And I'm seeing there an Aston Martin of Dickweed having even more troubles than he already was. Shaden getting past Funny Ass Chimp. Still very very good race from Chimp from all the way back on the grid. Maybe he has to stop once more. I think he does, but it doesn't take away the fact that he's driving a very good race.
Absolutely agree there. Very very impressive racer from him. I do assume that he will need to box once more. It's gonna be, he's currently on hards, which are 4 laps old, and if it's going to rain just a little bit, where you have to change the tires, that will cost a bit of time. But so far, if the rain is not going to be too bad, so very very promising for him to finish the race with the one stop. But he's using a lot of ERS. Is that an indication for him knowing that the rain is coming and he's pushing for it because you don't need that much ERS in the rain? Or is it him trying to put down the gap, trying to catch Bailiff and put some pressure on him? Because if you see the time goes down on top left corner, mentally, ooh, some people, they go crazy, and maybe this is what Melvin is aiming for.
Maybe he wants to keep that Alfa Romeo behind, but we're seeing here Funny Asim very very late on the brakes, almost hitting Shaden in front of Maverick, doing a very lovely switcheroo there on the hairpin, just getting that most of the traction, pulling ahead into the final corner. Doesn't really even can pull up a fight, the Mercedes driver here. Maybe even Maverick going on the move for Shaden, but he thinks better of it again. But Shaden goes a bit deep. Does he try and stick it down the inside here? Just a bit too far back, unfortunately, I think, for the AlphaTauri driver. And Funny Shimp is watching this all unfold, maybe wanting to pick up some pieces if it all comes to shambles there.
Definitely in a good position here. If there's anything going on ahead, he can easily sneak by and get a good position just behind him. Greg's Game Center do like to collect some time, since he's picking up some 3 seconds time penalty, unfortunate for him, and that gives him 3 seconds of time penalty, as well as Aussie, Ash and Xenon. So nothing is over yet. Keep your warnings low. Everyone at the front in the top 6 on 3 seconds time. What's going on?
That is a very big crash out of turn 12. We just saw Aussie overtaking Greg on very new mediums compared to old mediums, and then coming out of turn 12 in that dirty air, Greg just got onto the power a bit too early, went into the wall, and I think he doesn't have a front wing anymore. So luckily it is towards the end of the lap, but he does need to get into the pit, change his front wing, so it will cost him a lot of time as Ash comes into the pit, but he went too fast into the pit lane, got a 5-second penalty for it. That's very, very unlucky for him. It will hamper his race a lot. It doesn't be able to get removed, those kind of penalties. And the game can be very harsh, even if you go 1 kilometer per hour too fast on the pit entry, it will penalize you with 5 seconds.
Yeah, talking about penalizing the drivers on track. Greg's just picked up another 3 as well. Is now in a pit. So let's see what tires he is going on. Shaden is putting a lot of pressure there on the Maverick. Is almost pushing him around the tracks, the turns. Is telling the AlphaTauri driver to drive quicker. If he looks in his rear mirror, imagine seeing a huge orange car straight behind you. That would be so frustrating if I was in his position, making his car very wide there, Shady.
It will be very nerve-wracking, and there the McLaren got a bit too close to the AlphaTauri. Let's see if he can make the move here on the main straight, Shaden. And all this battling has allowed Chimp and Wikemi to catch up to both drivers. Maybe they can make something out of this. And there the McLaren onto the grass on the braking. Doesn't get any room from the AlphaTauri there, but to be fair, there wasn't really any room to go. And now Funny Chimp around the outside. McLaren cuts the corner a bit to avoid an accident, but what a move that was from Chimp. A very big cojones there to put it alongside there. And the battle for the lead is still going on. Reverend Melvin is really catching up a lot to Bailiff now. Almost.
He has to box. Bailiff needs to box here. He's losing. How much time did he lose? Last time I checked it was 9 seconds. He's down to 4 seconds now.
It's going down very quickly, almost by a tenth, by a corner. Even he doesn't have a puncture. But I didn't notice his fuel sign flashing a bit, so maybe he's just lifting and coasting to try to get that Alpine car over the finish line with enough fuel. Yeah, he isn't even going full throttle on the straights. He definitely has to save fuel a lot, and that is costing him a lot of time. I thought maybe for a second he picked up a puncture with old medium tires, but I think he maybe tries to go toward to the end. No, he doesn't. He pulls into the pit, and that gives Reverend Melvin the lead with Xenon just in his mirrors, and Ozzy with the big job to catch up to him. It isn't a small gap he has to make, let's put it that way. Almost 10 seconds, well, a bit less I think. Let's just wait to see until the delta sorts out. Yeah, 9.3 seconds. He does have fresh mediums towards the compared to the old hard, so he will be faster than both guys out in front, but it is a big ask to catch up to him in the remaining 7 laps. Almost 10 seconds to do for him.
Absolutely. Also here on a flyer currently is trying to push a lot. We are watching the times hopefully going down as we're having another change of position and another battle as well. Still
Ash, the Williams spinning out, and there his teammate going around the outside of the Mercedes there. Does he make it stick? He does, with a very good traction there. What a move that was.
Very impressive move there as well. Funniest Champ is having to concede position here. Is now behind Wikemi, and Shaden is just behind of him now on a 7-lap old hard compared to 14-lap old medium. So Funny is going to struggle a lot there, sitting in the Mercedes, trying to stick with the Williams of Wikemi ahead. And now it's going to be down to him, able to get early on the throttle, struggles a little bit, but is not close enough. He still gets the DRS, but it will make him vulnerable for Shaden behind, as he's on 2% ERS actually runs out now, and he's going to lose a lot of pace there, unfortunately.
He will. I think it is time for him to go into the pit, get those soft tires underneath that Mercedes car. As he does, he enters the pits, cuts the corner really nicely, but he doesn't go under the throttle there. It's a very slow pit entry for Chimp, but we'll see if he actually gets those red tires. He does. The Mercedes pit crew coming out of the garage with the soft tires, putting it under that black car, and it's interesting to see how fast he can go in the remaining last laps.
Absolutely, remaining last lap, 6 laps to go. We are on lap 22. Thank you very much. We still have 22 people as well watching here. Stay active now. Let us know your predictions. Let us know about your driver of the day as well. We got almost a 5-lapper race remaining here. Both drivers ahead, Reverend Melvin and Xenon, are only less than a second apart from each other, and both are very low on ERS as well. They're pushing to the absolute limit. Xenon and Ozzy, though, unfortunately have a 3 seconds time penalty, which will be added to the end of the race for both drivers. Unlucky for them, but Xenon does not like to wait, and it's pushing hard to maybe overtake Reverend Melvin even on track, and we are still waiting for the weather to change, so seemingly might not even see any rain at all.
I totally forgot about that part. As we see here, Wikemi and Maverick go side to side into the last corner, but Maverick just edging ahead with Wikemi conceding that place. But now in the start-finish straight, lagging a bit, so I'll go on board with Maverick, but the Williams driver pulls ahead. Can Maverick maybe force something here? Yes, he can. Wikemi getting a bit out of shape, and wow, I don't really know what's happened there. But Maverick and Kemi colliding, and that is Maverick turn around. Very unlucky for the AlphaTauri driver there, as he was having a very good race.
My heart is crying there, seeing an AlphaTauri spinning around, but it's laughing at the same time. I can see a rainbow in my heart. We have a Reverend Melvin in the AlphaTauri at the very front of my previous car in last season. Unfortunate for Maverick, but it is not over yet. Very, very good as well. I want to do a big shout out to all the drivers on track here. This is not our very first race for the season. However, we did not have a single safety car, and that is something great to achieve. We can focus more on the racing, more on the pace, and this is why you see such a big difference, like from P4 of 15 seconds to P3, and from P15 to 14 of 16 seconds.
I don't want to spoil the party, but the exact same thing was said on Tier 1 on Thursday, lap 24. We didn't have a safety car yet, and then lap 25 everything unfolded. So let's just wait 4 more laps and then say if we actually didn't have a safety car.
Yeah.
But the battle for the lead here.
Let's
prove that Tier 4 is very clean.
Without safety cars than Tier 1 in
exactly.
The final part of the race.
Exactly, it's a motivation. Big motivation for the drivers to keep everything clean, as indeed Shaden very close to the back of the Williams driver. Wikemi and Xenon close on Melvin for the race lead. I don't think Xenon has the tires or, well, the penalties to get this race win here in China, but maybe on track it will feel like a victory, and that counts as well. Both low on ERS. Does Xenon go for a dive here? He is pretty far back and he doesn't go for it. Just too far back, thinks better of it, knows even if he overtakes the AlphaTauri he probably won't get that victory. But if you don't try, you don't win.
Absolutely. Try and error. This is what you need to do. Exactly. Matt Brownie likes the concept as well. Tried very hard. Unfortunately, got a 3 seconds time penalty. And Xenon is trying now as well and made the move on track. It's now in P1. 10% ERS and a 3 seconds time penalty, has 3 laps time if he is able to get out of the DRS straight away and improve and get away from Revan Melvin by a second a lap. He might be able to get the W here back home, but that is a huge task for him on low ERS, and Revan Melvin still behind, but it's already 9/10. Is he going to be able to push out?
Well, very, very interesting to keep an eye on, as Shaden and Wikemi here have a very nice battle on the main straight all the way towards, well, the end of sector 1, maybe, if Wikemi decides to go for a lunge here down the inside, which he does. Once again braking later than his opponent, but Shaden with a very, very nice switchback, making a bit of contact on the exit of that corner. And there it is, Wikemi edging ahead. But looking back at the battle for the lead, Reverend Melvin does have fresher hard tires. He pitted 4 laps later than Xenon, so he should be able to at least stay with him on those fresher hard tires. He will have more pace on his rubber. As Xenon there goes wide, and Bailiff makes a mistake out of turn 12 and puts it into the wall. And that is him out of the race. He was in P4. That's very unlucky for him. The pole sitter has done a very, very nice job so far this race, but one little mistake and it can cost you everything in Formula 1. Very unforgiving, and there it's the McLaren of Shaden braking a bit too late, and Wikemi going for a spin. Scott Gay getting caught up there, and Ash now alongside him. Maybe now he just brakes a bit earlier. That has to go on Shaden. It was very, very busy. Maybe 3 drivers all wanting to overtake one another into the hairpin, and just Shaden going a bit too late on the brakes. But there, very nice switchback though from the same Shaden on Scott Gay in
once again
in turn
so
1.
Impressive from Shaden as well. Very unlucky. Wikemi, I think he did lose the car ahead of him, and then Shaden did not have anywhere to go, as he didn't have. Now Scott Gay making his car very wide. 3 seconds time penalty here. Shaden has to defend once again. Ash is behind him. 8 seconds time penalty, so it's not very important to win on track there, since the cars have a huge time penalty if you can stick with them. But of course you do want to try to push on track, and talking about on track, look at the gap to the front to P2. It's 1.9, actually now 2 seconds. He has 2 laps time to improve by 1 second. Revan Melvin against Xenon. Everybody is looking at the two of them. If this timer is going to reach the 3-point+ rate, Xenon is going to take the victory here on lap 28. It is currently 2.2 seconds difference. Both drivers pushing as hard as they can.
It looks like Reverend Melvin has a bit of extra top speed in that AlphaTauri, maybe choosing a setup that fits the straight better than the corners. And the battle here for the P5, Ash and Shaden falling a bit back from Scott Gay, who now is safely in P4. But still the battle for P5 isn't over. Of course Shaden doesn't have a penalty, unlike his fellow competitors around him, which will give him a big advantage towards the end. But yeah, in sector 2 Xenon is just a lot faster as well after those early connection issues. It's very nice to see him all the way up here. There goes the Ancient One just ahead of the leaders, going for a bit of a spin out of turn 12 and getting lapped by both cars. So that is his race completely done and dusted. And now for the penultimate time going around the hairpin, the gap is at 2.4 seconds. So it will be very close if they keep this pace up. Maybe even around that 3.0 second mark, because last time around it was at 2.0. Now it is at 2.6. If Revan Melvin can have a very good lap, he will get the race win. But same goes for Xenon in the final lap here.
It is extremely close between the two of them. He needs to improve by 3/10. This is where all the practice, all the hours of training the drivers are put into TT come down to this moment. Xenon against Rapper Melvin on the very last lap. This is a tenth of a second battle, and he just managed to get out of the 3 seconds, but Rapper Melvin is getting a good exit. 3.002 now in sector 2. As he said, Xenon has a better sector 2, and you can see it as well. 2/10 improvement once again, and 2/10 improvement once again. I think Rapper Melvin is also struggling a little bit with the fuel. Hopefully this is not going to come in his deficit, but now Xenon is looking very, very good. 3/10 save out of the 3 seconds difference. Currently fully pushing. Rabbit Melvin has a bit more ERS. Is he going to be able to push down to 3 seconds? It's 2/10, 1/10. It closes down to 3 seconds difference. This is going to go down to 2 turns, ladies and gentlemen. Xenon is about to do the last turn of the lap. Acceleration is using his ERS is 3.1 seconds, and Rabbit Melvin.
Ooh, I think he got it.
And Rabbit Melvin is taking his victory. Did Xenon get another warning?
Did he get? I thought he was on.
Yeah,
Maybe. Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic then. Maybe the game set him back because of his connection issues. I think he was only on a 3-second penalty. And then Xenon did win this race. But still, it was a very interesting battle to keep an eye on this last couple of laps. Ash and Scott Gay here, going side to side to the line. Nice to see as well. Doesn't really matter because the penalties they have. Shaden there going into P5 first, but then Wikemi goes underneath without any penalties. So Shaden in P6. Ozzy was going well. He was stationary on the finish line just as he was entering lap 28. But it didn't really matter. He had a very big gap towards the back of him. Scott Gay in P4, that is. And then Wikemi, as I already said, in P5. Shaden in P6. Ash running off that top 7. Maverick in P8. Spider Rob in P9. Free fall after his many spins. And 23 laps on those medium tires. Very impressive, as to say, for Maverick. 20 laps on mediums. Wikemi 19 laps on medium tires. A very long stint on those mediums, but made it work. Nice job. And Spider Rob in P9 also on a very long stint towards the end.
Wow, what a race that was. We were expecting rain to come as well at the end, and the clouds are getting a bit grayer now. Luckily we did not, which made the race more interesting in terms of managing the tires and just being a bit more consistent on track. And what a performance from the AlphaTauri driver here. We are going to have some interviews. Stay with us for another few minutes, but you can go through the grid. At the meantime, I'm going to invite everyone.
But as we see here, indeed, Xenon only had 3 seconds of penalty, so I think the game screwed him over a little bit with setting him back after those earlier connection issues. But the top 10 already mentioned there. P11 is Matt Rowney in the Ferrari car, all the way back from P18. But both the 1-2 very impressive drives from P14 and P13 on the grid, going on to the podium. Both top steps as well. Very great drives from them. Vanias Chimp in P12 from back of the grid. Digweed in P13. Wilban with his crash in qualifying still manages to end up in P14. Greg in P15. Adam in P16. Ghost Angel 1 P17. Bailiff from pole crashed out. Very unfortunate for him. Would have been P4, but it's P18 for him. And in Jesus and BX Pro rounding off the grid.
Very impressive. We had a absolutely thrilled race, a very interesting start of the qualification. Let's see if people are joining as well. Once people have joined, as we have Aussie now as well. Before we jump into the interviews, please make sure that you have your voice shared as well, and we're just going to invite our very last driver as well before we start. Who was your driver of the day today, Mr. Boom here? It was a very, very eventful race. Who was your driver?
It was very well. A lot of nominations can potentially be put out, but I think it's got to be one of the two top finishers, whether Melvin or Xenon, from P14 and P13 on the grid to, well, winning and getting P2. That is very impressive, and not really anything they could do better this race.
Absolutely agree there. Absolutely agree. And we do have our first two driver as well, who joined our party chat. Very, very warm welcome. Congrats, both of you, so far for the podium finish. How did your race go? And then, Xenon, if you can hear me, if you like to start, feel free.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes,
okay,
we can.
Well, very eventful race. I mean, qualifying didn't go as planned. I was hoping to get very quick. I did it, and then as I went out, went to go onto the softs, and my game just crashed and my internet went off. So I rejoined, formation lap kicked me out again, and just about joined from the start, and I had a whopping start. I mean, I think I gained a few positions there, and then obviously the few crashes, and then personally I think there was a bit of a glitch, unless that was me at the end. According to my game, I had 3.1 seconds ahead, and I had a 3-second penalty, and it still gave him the win.
Yeah, we saw that as well. We wondered why that happened. Why that happened, if we did miss any sort of penalty as well. But it's very interesting to see now that you are confirming this as well. It was only a 3 seconds time penalty, and you dropped down by 9 seconds. If this is in a proper league race, of course, feel free to report it to the stewards. Feel free to do it now as well. Of course, this is not going to count into the proper standings, as we're not starting with the season just yet, but of course it was a very, very difficult battle at the front, and a very well deserved win, and I see you as well as the winner of the race, so congratulations as well from my
Thank
side.
you.
Once again, starting from the P13 as well, and then all the issues, having such a good start. Yeah, I can imagine it was quite eventful there at the beginning.
It was yeah, like you said, very eventful, and I think I'll try and sort my internet out for next time, but like I said, I think there was a bit of a glitch going on in the game, so I'm going to slow that clip down and just double check.
These glitches are unfortunately with the game as well. We had them before, so don't worry. Sometimes it is the game as well, but if it's the internet, have a look on top of everything. But so far I didn't see any issues on this side. I also want to take the moment here for Aussie. If you can hear us, very, very congratulations. And how did your race go?
I was hoping to do a bit better in qualifying. I just got caught up behind BX37. Good job to my dad for getting pole, by the way. I had an alright start, got ahead of him, and I just didn't feel quick in the first sector. And I just tried my best to hold him up and, try and survive it.
Yeah, very impressive. We saw the strategies there as well from the McLaren team. They're very, very impressive there on the race. And we did see you and Balev fighting for pole position in qualifying in wet and in dry. So maybe just the one lap at the very end, Balev might be able to just perfect in it. But Boom here, what do you have? Do you have something to say for also here? Very impressive performance today. Any questions?
I don't really have anything to add up. But of course, it's a nice drive, and qualifying especially. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add on.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. A very, very big thank you for everyone who raised, especially for the two of you, Xenon, and also in the chat. Thank you for participating and also being in the interview. Xenon, feel free to vote as well. I'm pretty sure that you get the victory back there as well from the race. GG everybody, and I would like to say a big thank you as well for everybody in the YouTube chat. But this is it. That was race 0 from Tier 4 in China, and that is it for me.
Yeah, I hoped you all enjoyed that one. It was in a very nice way to, well, start the season off, even if it wasn't really the season yet. But that's it until next week in Australia, I think we go to. How are you feeling, guys, for that one? More to Aussie and Xenon.
Oh,
Sorry.
How are you guys feeling for Australia, the next race coming up?
Cool.
no, you go first, it's fine.
Not feeling too well. It's one of those tracks that it's like China. I'm not the best at. Well, I thought so. Anything can happen. Safety cars can always bring it home, and just one of those tracks, especially through the. To me, it's really tight through the left-right towards the end of the lap. I find it really difficult to get the car through there without getting a penalty. Looking forward to it though, because it's always a challenge, especially in the CRL.
Definitely is. Really, well put. And to you, Aussie, what do you make of it?
I'd love this circuit, but I'm just not too keen on it now. So, as Zenon said, anything can happen. Hopefully, safety cars, and yeah, it's very tight.
It definitely is. Very little margin for error there. Yeah, I hope to see you next week again. And that is it.